It was in 2014 in the Red Rocks of Sedona, Arizona, in the middle of the night. And I was lying on the ground in the center of a vortex next to my friend, Reverend Peter Heltzel. Now, if you've never heard of a vortex, which I hadn't either, a vortex is considered to be a place on this earth that is a swirling center of energy, vibrating at a heightened frequency, and which some find to be especially conducive to healing, meditation, transformation. One might feel different after being in one, different physically or mentally or spiritually. Vortices, that's the plural, are generally situated in some of the most spectacular spots on earth, where it can seem at times that heaven and earth meet. On this night, enveloped in this swirling energy, Peter and I gazed into a devastatingly beautiful cosmos of infinite stars. And then all at once, 3 shooting stars crossed the night sky from end to end in a burst of color like we'd never seen before. Later, we walked back to our group, alternating between laughter and expansive wonder. I have no idea if vortices are real. But I know that we felt changed after that, and that neither of us have ever forgotten that night in which we glimpsed and felt a world more wondrous than we knew. This week in Parshat Vayeitzei, we find our ancestor Jacob fleeing his home. He's stolen his brother's blessing by tricking their father into believing that he was his older brother Esau. The scene was orchestrated by his mother, Rebecca, and was a deceit so successful that now Esau, feeling bereft and angry and cheated, has threatened to kill Jacob. Rebecca tells him to run away until his brother cools off. So Jacob, who is called in Torah an Ish Tam Yoshev Ohalim, a mild man who likes to stay in the tent, is now running through the unknown, alone, and surely afraid. Then Jacob, we read, Vayifga b'makom, came upon a certain place, Vayalen sham kivah hashemesh, and he stayed there for the night, for the sun had set. And then he dreams. In this clearing, lying under the star, he dreams of a ladder that connects heaven and earth. He dreams of angels going up and down the ladder, and in this dream, God says to him, Va'anochi imach, I am with you. The land you are lying on, I will give to your descendants, and the families of the earth will bless themselves by you. I will protect you and bring you back to this land. And then Jacob wakes up and exclaims, God was in this place, and I didn't know. Ma norah hamakom hazeh, how awesome is this place? It is none other than the house of God, and this is the gateway to the heavens. Jacob seems to have stumbled upon a biblical vortex. In fact, the commentators explain that this place where heaven and earth touched was not just anywhere. Maimonides taught that this very spot was Mount Moriah, the same place where Abraham nearly sacrificed Isaac, the same place where Noah made an offering to God after the flood, and it was the same place that God breathed life into Adam and the world came into being. And one day, it will be the site on which the temple in Jerusalem will be built. On the run, afraid, alone, and lost, Jacob sees, if only in the span of one night's dream, a vision of a world worth dreaming of. He didn't know until now that such a world was even possible, and he is changed by this knowing. He comes in meek and meandering, but he emerges with courage, clear-eyed, and with a purpose to his journey. After seeing what he has seen, he is different now. He is ready, and he can't unsee it. In the world of community organizing, there is this fundamental idea that you can't organize what you can't imagine. But if you can imagine it, then you can build it. You can bring it into existence. So to catch a glimpse of the world as it could be, a world more wondrous than you knew possible, a just world, or compassionate world, or a joyful world, is transformative. Because with that glimpse, we get proof that it is possible and a blueprint for how to build it. And so we are irreversibly changed by this vortex experience. And these vortices where heaven and earth meet, they're not just in Sedona or in Mount Moriah, and they don't just happen in dreams. They can be times or places or encounters, victories, moments where the world shifts for the better, and we think, oh, it could be like this. I remember one early morning in 2013 in Los Angeles when I was the lead organizer for the California Reform Movement. We were in our first campaign working on immigration reform. The safety of 3 million immigrants was at stake. We had worked hard, applying significant pressure on our legislators and the governor, and we were sweating out the last days of the campaign. And that morning, my phone buzzed, and it was Chris Newman, one of the lead organizers of the coalition. And he said, his voice vibrating with a heightened frequency, "We won." And I burst into tears at this glimpse of what the world could look like if compassion were the guiding principle of our laws and our land. It wasn't a clearing in the desert under the stars, but it was a kind of vortex, and it changed me. Now, I am no Jacob, and it's possible that LA is not the gateway to heaven. Although Los Angeles, thank you, but I had glimpsed the world as it could be, and I couldn't unsee that. Where have you glimpsed a world more wondrous, or more compassionate, or more joyful than you knew? Something that taught you what is possible. Maybe a time when you were hurting or grieving, and your community came up around you and cared for you, and you thought, oh, community could be like this. Or a victory that gave you hope, like when equal marriage passed in all 50 states. A vortex in time where you walked in one way, but were irrevocably changed for it. I felt it once in a park in Crown Heights after an anti-Semitic incident happened, and Chabad and we, CBE, gathered together for song and solidarity on the lawn as if there was nothing fractured between us. I felt it again in a park in Bed-Stuy when we gathered with our friends from Antioch Baptist Church in the hottest sun ever for music and dance and drums, and it felt like we were ancient friends in an ancient place where heaven and earth touched just a little bit. And just for that glimpse of the world as it could be that we stumbled into, we were changed because we had seen what is possible. There are parts of the journeys that we are all on that will have darkness or feel hopeless, where we, like Jacob, find ourselves running through the unknown, afraid and alone. But there's a midrash that teaches that the place where Jacob fell asleep does not require the sun to shine on it because it produces a light of its own. These experiences, these encounters we've had, these victories and vortices, they light our way and they sustain us when the way feels dark. May we each remember the times that we have glimpsed the world as it could be. May we remember how they changed us. And may these glimpses remind us that, in fact, the world as it could be is just one step before the world as it will be. Shabbat Shalom.